All right, gang, it's Hexy. Let's see if I can't go ahead and play a turn, see how long it takes me to get through this. So we're playing First Victories, Glory and Empire, Wellington versus Napoleon. And we're going to start a turn. Hope I get all this right for everybody. I think I've got the system down. At least I've got the soldiers system down first. All right, so start off with weather. There's no weather's just normal in this one right here. Initiative phase, let's see who's going to win the initiative. We just roll a couple of dice. All right, and the Brits get it. Let's see, you get to add the CIMs of the commanders that are on the table. Delaborte's on, so they get a +3. Wellesley's on, they get a +3, so it's an 8 to a 4. All right, and then we go over to the orders chart, which is on the same table. And let's see, 8 for the Brits is they get 1 order. All right, and you'll see what that is here in a minute. Brits get, oops, I have that down here, sorry. Brits get 1, and the French also get 1, all right? Well, I think we're going to put the French this time in reserve so that they can counter what the Brits do. So we'll do that. We'll put them in reserve, and what we'll do is we'll put it on Delaborte right here. And that means that all the brigades that are in command, which he has a command range of 5, and he's got 2 brigade leaders here, they'll be in command and they'll be under reserve orders. Now we got to figure out who is going to get the order for the Brits. So we have all the command cards right here of all the units that are on board. Oh, turn marker up. It's 1240 turn. All right. To figure out who gets the command. Ooh, careful. I think I actually already shuffled these, so. All right, now what you do is we know that they have 1 order, so we will go through the cards. All right, we'll flip the card over. We're using the bot. All right, we drew Bose, which I don't think Bose is on the board yet. I could be wrong. Let me see. No, he's not, so we'll forget him, and we'll go to the next one, which is Trant. Oh, Lord. So the Portuguese drew the card again, but now what we got to do is we got to roll a dice. On his card here, he is close proximity to the enemy, which is 8 hexes, okay, within 8 hexes. And we're going to roll on this dice right here to see what order he gets, all right? So we roll, and we roll 7, and he gets a none. So that's an order that's not on him, which is probably good. The Brits don't need it on him. All right, and then we get Wellesley. All right, Wellesley is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He is in close proximity. So let's roll for him. He rolls a 3. That gives him an attack order. Now, the difference between him drawing an attack order and one of the brigades is he only affects the independent units that are under his command. So we're going to put Wellesley. He is in attack. All right. And he will affect like these units sitting back in here. Not him. This guy here. So he'll affect these 2 cannons right here. The trains are, they're their own thing. And he's got a range of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, that cavalry unit. And then he's got an aide over here, Bathurst, he can help morale and fire for these guys over here, but they're still within range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're still within range of Napoleon over here. Of Wellesley. So that's it. That's the only orders that are issued because they only got 1. And it would say an orders initiative here you would roll, okay? First player is British. So we're going to go ahead because this is the first player in this game here, whoever wins the initiative can tell who's going to go first. So if the British win the initiative, they can actually, well, if you're not playing a bot, you can say, okay, I want the French to go first. Okay? And vice versa. But since we use the card here, Wellesley, the British are going to go first, and we roll for initiative, and Wellesley's the one that drew the initiative. Okay, so now these cards are out of play for this turn, all right, for the most part. There's some more rules I need to read about the AI in this game. All right, so we got through that. We're going to go to the first player turn, which is the rally phase. All right, so if you're adjacent to an enemy unit, you cannot roll for recovery. All right, but they're not. So we'll start over on this end over here. And this guy's in a shaken state, so he's got a -10. He's got a leader who has he can help the morale roll of 1. So it is a -9, and he's a 50, okay? So you roll 10-sided dice. And he rolled an 11 minus 9, so he did not recover, and he was shaken. I don't think, make sure, I don't think that changes anything, but if you're in worse shape, it might. All right, entering shaken mode. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, we want 8.2. Rally checks. Okay. Let's see. A unit performed like a morale check except failure does not always worsen. Okay, units in disorder or shaken morale states that fail remain in their current state. Units in the disorder or the shaken morale states that pass improve their level. Okay, so that's when you're doing a rally check. So they're shaken and they failed, but they're not going to change anymore. And they're already in the shaken state, so it's not going to matter. Units that are shaken are not allowed to voluntarily change formation, even as reaction. Blah, 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 blah. Normally, units that enter the shaken morale state usually retreat 1 hex, but they were already in a shaken morale state. All right, so let's move down the line. I need my tweezers. All right, this guy here's got he is a disrupted. He's a -5, and he's a 50. So we roll the dice. We roll a 61 minus 5, 56. So he goes from disrupted to normal. All right. That's how simple it works. And believe me, this is the crux of this game is morale. Okay. Skirmish, skirmish. All right. So now we got a shaken right here. All right. Shaken. He no leader. He's got a 33 and he's got a -10. All right. And he rolls a 94. So he is going to go become disrupted. He's not shaken anymore. All right. Then we go right down the line here. We got a shaken -10. He's a 35. And he rolls a 52. -10 is a 42. So he is now disrupted. Am I too loud? Which one was it? This one right here. All right. Down the line over to here. He's disrupted. -5. And he's a 38. So he rolls an 11. He's going to go shaken. And since he is entering the shaken state, now, only the top unit is the one you check morale against. If there are extra units in the hex and their morale state changes, it's the whole hex, but you only use the first unit. All right, so he's going to back off 1 hex, okay? Your skirmishers have a range of 2. But I keep seeing this that the reaction has to be always in there. Oh, no, reaction fire wouldn't be. Well, yeah, reaction fire against skirmishers. I do have an issue with that rule, okay? So skirmishers, units with skirmishers deployed, including SD, have an extended reaction fire capability. Combat units moving into, changing formation within, or leaving the front hexes of skirmishers trigger reaction fire. All right, so this guy is going to... He's going to trigger reaction fire from those skirmishers. And I want to make sure, let's see. Units in broken morale state that fail, okay. Current units that pass improve the morale state. When a unit rallies from broken, aroused, or shaken, it enters column formation. It may face any hex side the owning player desires, and it doesn't cost any. Okay. Let's see. Entering the shaken state, unit that enters morale state from a better morale state, retreat 1 hex. Face shaken units retain the same facing and formation as if they were in the normal morale state. Okay, well, so that means I guess it's like they just backed off, but he's going to get to shoot at him in this hex here. And I think everybody here, and we got a skirmisher of 1, and he was here. So he's going to get shot at by this guy here, which is going to be a skirmisher of 2. All right, he's going to get a 1 column. He's shooting into the scrub. That's going to shift it back a column. And this guy over here that they were shooting at, let me find my little chart here. All right, so if the target FSM is red with white text, that's the penalty he pays when he's firing. It's a column shift. If it's white with red text, that's the shift for when he's actually doing, or when he's the target. So he is a skirmisher. Yep, so he's got a -1. So this is going to be down to the 0 column on this table here, right in here. All right, you can't go any lower than that. I'm finding out that most of the combats are like that, or most of the firings like that. So that skirmisher shoots a 41. He's going to get no effect because it goes 0 to 50. This guy over here is going to do the same thing. Yep, he's going to come down because he would shoot at him right here. So that's going to end up being a 0 also. All right, he rolls a 62. And from 51 to 69 is a morale check. So we know he was shaken. He's a -10. All right, and he is a 38. So he rolls a 46 minus 10 is a 36. So this guy here is going to change state again. He's going to go to broken now. And then when you go to broken, you have to retreat. I gotta find it. Gotta find it. Sorry. Because there's so many you have to check. All right. Entering the broken state, blah, blah, blah. Immediately after he retreats 3 hexes. All right. The units are marked with a broken marker, and broken markers, their facing is all around. So, all right, so he's going to retreat 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3. He's going to go to broken. I may not get everything right, but I think each time I play a turn, I get much better at it. All right, so let's make sure in that. Really haven't had to look at the rules too much, but the morale check ones, yeah, you pretty much have to. Oh, let's see. Broken, they have all around facing. They do not exert a zone of control. Broken units are not allowed to move. Okay, got that. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. And it doesn't say anything about retreat movement. Friendly move, they retreat because of the following restriction. Unit to hex occupied sole leaders. Units that are forced to retreat in trains are not allowed. Combat units that retreat may temporarily violate stacking SPs, but they cannot end their retreat stacked with combat units which they did not begin the retreat with. They must continue to retreat until they can reach a vacant hex. Okay, broke. All right. And they do not, the restriction do not violate any other. Okay. Okay, broken or routed units that retreat through a friendly hex cause the stationary units to take a morale check. All right. So that would mean that these guys, let's see, he would have gone probably through this one here. Yeah, they're both 37. So he's going to take a morale check. All right. 32. So he's going to go disordered. All right. So yeah, you can have a chain of reaction of stuff that happens here. All right. So that guy got disordered because he ran through it. All right. So he got shot here. So he took a shaking, so he has to fall back here. Then he takes he took a hit and he had to take a morale check. So he took a shaking and he fell back. Then he fails that check and he's got to retreat 3 more hexes. And that's how he becomes broken. So blah, 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 blah. So yeah, your morale effects can be, they can, like I say, they can create a chain reaction. All right, so and that was just during recovery. So the question is during recovery, just to make sure we got this right. 4.2 phasing player rallies. Yeah, so it's any movement. All right, and they were moving. Okay, so let's go with this guy over here. He is shaken -10. He's got a leader, so it's going to be -7, and he's a 36. All right, so he's good. He's going to go to disordered. All right, you notice they do the rally checks before you do anything else. This guy here is disordered. He's a -5. That's a 31. He rolls an 82, so he's going to be back to normal. All right, he comes back to normal. This guy over here cannot recover because he's in the zone of control of a French unit. And then we go back here to the guns, -5, and he's a 35. He rolls a 58, so he's good. And same thing here, -5 on a morale of 35, 83. Now, the morale number, that big number right there, all right, he's a 35. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that or not. I hope you can. All right, and that is it for recovery for the coalition or the allies. So we're going to move on to cavalry recovery phase. None of the cavalry's messed up for the Brits. This French cavalry back here, no, that's infantry. Where'd that French cavalry go? Because he got busted up pretty good, I think. Where is he? Yeah, he's right there. All right, so I have to remember that when I get to their phase. All right, cavalry recovery. All right, fire segment. All right, so now the allies, the coalition gets to fire. And then once they're done firing, the French cannons, if they have a target, they can fire. All right, but French infantry, skirmishers, things like that, they can't shoot in their because they are the non-phasing player. All right, so now the command cards are going to come into play on this. All right, so we're going to start. Let's start with these guns over here. Now, I usually don't have an issue with line of sight and elevation. He's sitting up higher. These guys are all sitting up higher. So we're going to start with that cannon right there. We're going to flip an action card over. Okay. And the action card says fire target selection. First priority is closest. Closest target is those guys right there. It's not a flank shot. But he's limbered. He can't shoot. So we'll just move it over to the next guy. I didn't see that. A little hard to tell if you're not paying attention what's limbered. And it even says limber on it, what's not. So we'll move over here to this guy. All right. We'll use the card. Fire to closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be him. He is up on. Yep, he's definitely on higher. Well, wait a minute. No, he's not. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's on higher terrain. All right, so they're going to fire him. So he's going to fire. Now, in the soldiers game, you don't use all the different fire type numbers. You use only the one in the white box. So he's going to shoot 1. He's going to get a -1 for shooting. So now he's down to the 0 column. These guys are in scrub, they're in skirmish, or they're in SED formation. So this is going to be on the 0 column. You can't never drop below that. And he rolls a 99. There's no leader in there. You'd be rolling for morale check. So he gets a morale check -15. So even an artillery shot on minimal odds. All right, so he's a 41. And he rolls a 4. Guess what? He is now disrupted. Now, these effects are a little worse if you're doing offensive and defensive fire within close assault. All right, so that guy's disrupted. Let's move over to this gun here. Let's draw a card. All right, fire. Target is artillery. Does he have a target of artillery that he can hit? And where'd those guns go? Are they still here? I think the guns got destroyed. Oh, the guns got destroyed, so that didn't work. Target with exposed rear, no, and the target is cavalry. So there's nothing for him to shoot at. Now, I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's cavalry right there. Where's my little thingies? My little range thingies. Yep, that cavalry is in his angle of fire. So he's going to shoot. He's got a 2 in the white box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he is shooting at long range. So that's going to be 2. Long range is -2, so now he's down to 0 already. All right, but he's firing at cavalry, so that's +1. So he's back up to the 1 column. Doesn't mean nothing being spent. All right, so he's at the 1 column and he's in clear. So, oh, that is a flank shot because he's in column. All right, wait a minute. Let's make sure. Yeah, all right, so it's a flank shot, so he's up +1. Flank is +2, so he's up to +3. All right, this could be devastating. +3, he rolls a 66, and that is a morale -10. He's already at -10, so let's see, he's a 36 with a -10 and -20. Ouch. And he rolls a 52. That takes him down to a 32. And he is broken. Cavalry has to run away 6 hexes. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. He is, man, they chased him all those. A good shot by that gun right there. These guys are still limbered. Let's go over here to this gun right here, sitting on that elevation. Draw a card for him to shoot. Target with exposed flank doesn't exist. Target on the objective. All of these are on the objective. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into him. He's going to be -1 in the scrub. He's only shooting 1. So he's going to end up being on the 0 column. Really not that hard to figure out the odds. And he rolls a 5, so he didn't hit nothing. All right. Now let's go through and shoot some of these line troops. Let's go over here to this guy here. So he is SED, and he has got SED. Now, the firepower for units in SED, this SED is like taking the whole unit's in skirmish mode. So his fire strength in pink is 3, all right? He's got a -1 firing. This guy has a -1 firing. So now there. All right, so he's going to be 3 -1 for that, and then -2 because they're in the scrub, so it's going to be on the 1 column. All right, he rolls a 59 on the 1 column. That is a regular morale check, and he's a -5. He rolls a 98. That ain't going nowhere. And then this guy here is also a 3. The leader doesn't have any help there, so it's going to be the same thing. Nope, he doesn't have a -1, so he's firing 3, only -1 for that. So he's firing on the 2 column into the scrub, and he rolls a 99. There's no leader over here. Gee, money Christmas. 99, that's a... Okay, so this guy here has taken a casualty. Wow. He's taken a casualty, and he's got a -15, -5, so he's going to get a -20 on the morale check, and he rolls a 69, minus, I want to say 20, -20. So that's a 49. He's a 38. You believe that? He stood up to that. He took that fire and stayed there. All right. So he's good. All right. What else we got? Can these guys here shoot? What do they got going on? They got skirmishers, and they got a skirmisher of 1. All right. So this is ended up going to be a 0. I got to pick a card. See, I forgot to pick cards for those. So you do the same thing here. So that guy, you would have picked a card for fire. Worst morale value, that wouldn't have counted. Target with exposed flank, no. So it would have been, he would have fired at the closest. This guy here, target is cavalry, nope. They already been run away. Target exposed flank. And then worst morale value, well, that's the only target he could shoot anyhow. So that's where he's shooting. All right, now let's go over here and shoot these skirmishers. And the skirmishers are going to shoot target on the objective. There's one right in front of him. This is then going to be a 0 because he's a 1 strength skirmisher. Now, on the units, that's a leader. That little subscript number right there next to their strength, that's a 1. That's their skirmisher firepower. So you put the 1 strength skirmisher on top of him, and these skirmishers they can deflect fire into their front to the main unit. All right, so he's going to end up being a 0 because he's going to get a -1 for that. He's going to get a -1 for the scrub. Up the contour. Where's my chart? I think he's shooting up. Yeah, he's going to get -1 on the contour because he's shooting up 2 contours. All right, so he's going to be on the 0 column, and he rolls a 47, and that does nothing, no effect. He can't shoot, no skirmishers. He's got nobody he can shoot at. Let's go over here. Now, this stuff doesn't affect the line of sight of skirmishers. All right, another skirmisher 1 over here. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be 0 on this guy up in here. And he shoots, God, 68. 68 on 0 is a morale check. He's a -5. And he rolls a 12. That is not good. He rolls it. Yep, he is now shaken. And shaken means he backs up 1 hex. Boom. He did his job. All right. And let's go over to this guy over here. He's a skirmisher. Let's see if he can shoot across there. Worst morale value. He only has 1 target to shoot at. So that's going to be this guy here. So it's going to be the same thing again. Only 1 skirmisher. The leader... Nope, he doesn't have any effect. All right. So another 0 shot. He rolls a 61, which is also a morale check. And he rolls a 51, and he is a 41, so he's good. All right, skirmisher 1 over here. Same, pull a card. Got to remember to pull them cards, all right. Worst morale value. So, ooh, he's in column. So he can only shoot. Oh, no, skirmishers don't have. All right, so worst morale value. He's a 41. And he's a 41 with a -5, so we're going to shoot at him. Okay, so let's go with, it's going to be 0 again. All right, he shoots a 55 on 0. That's a morale check, and he's -5. He rolls an 82. That's not going to do any harm. All right. And we have one more skirmisher over yonder. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. One more. I have to look at that. Skirmisher, yeah, no, they don't have, that doesn't affect them. All right, so this guy here's in line. He's a skirmisher 1. Let's draw a card on him. Target is on objective. He's going to shoot here. That's going to be a 0 again. All right, and we roll a 19. That didn't hit anything. All right, and that takes care of all the firing ability that the coalition can do in their fire segment. Now, sort of like a return artillery fire for the non-phasing player, well, they only had one battery. That battery was destroyed because I think they had a situation where they couldn't retreat. And they ended up getting eliminated. So, onward and upward. All right, let's move on to the next phase. Movement segment. Okay. Wellesley's in attack mode. So only his units here, they can assault or charge. So I think what we'll do here is let's start with the boys out here, and let's see what they do with the Portuguese. Draw a card. You go to movement, launch close combat attack, which they cannot because they're not in attack order. Withdraw because they have heavy losses or there's enemy to their rear, and hold position. They're going to hold position. They're not going to do anything. Let's move down the line here to, I think this is Hill, which I believe Hill is a very good commander. Where you at, buddy? Yep, let's move down here to Hill. All right, and Hill has a launch close. He can't launch that. Move to the objective or the DP. So there's the objective. Hill is going to move. Now, here's the trick about this game. If you change formation, you're going to get fired on. All right. But these guys here are in line. I'm sorry, you're not going to fire on. You got to roll for a morale check. All right. So he's there. He's going to move in, even though he's not in assault mode. Now this is he cannot assault, but he can move in adjacent, which is cool if you ever want to get a chance for them guys to fire, because the infantry is not going to be able to do it. However, the skirmishers sitting right here are going to fire, and they are an SED, and the French have a skirmish value of 4. So they're going to pummel this dude. They're going to shoot 4 into him, and he has 7 strength points. Nope, it's going to be 0. All right, so 4 into him, and he's got the skirmisher of -1, so they're going to be shooting 3. Nope, and he's got a -1. They're going to be shooting 2. All right, two column, and they roll a 16. Yeah, they shot over their head and probably hit some poor civilian back here in the back somewhere. All right, so he is there. He's not going to do anything else. Now we want to get this guy. So he's going to change formation to line. If you're facing a hex side as infantry, you're in column. Okay, so he's going to change formation. That's 2. All right, which he's got to roll for morale. And he rolls a 74, so he's good. And then he's going to cross, because he's got a movement of 6. He's going to eat up all 4 of his points to cross here into the scrub and across that stream. So he's moved more than 4. Actually, he only moved 4 in line formation. So infantry, for each movement point extended over 4 in line, 2 in square, or their normal movement allowance. Now he only moved 4 in line. So unless that's a rule that needs to be changed. So he's going to be good to go there. All right. Now both of these skirmishers are going to shoot. So let's start with this guy here. And he's going to shoot 4 -1. Ooh, what's his strength in here? He's got 10. So he's got 4 -1, 4 -2 for the scrub. All right. And his strength is 10. So they're going to go +1. So it's going to be 4 -2 +1. It's going to be 3. On the 3 column, he shoots. He rolls a 52. good idea not to go in here unless you're in assault mode and you're in normal state or shaken or disrupted state. He's got a morale minus 10. All right, he rolls, he rolled a 1. So he becomes disrupted for the first, that's a broken marker, don't do that. All right, so now he's disrupted. All right, and now this guy's going to fire, same thing, 4. All right, he's a 10, so he's going to get +1 for that. And he's going to get -1. So he's going to be shooting at 4. Yeah. So he fires. God, I hate that. He rolls a 24. All right, so that's a morale minus 10 on that guy. He's already a -5. So 44 minus 5. Oh, wait, hold on. 44 minus 5. 44 minus 15. He's got a -5 on him. So that is 34. That's 29. And he is a 37. So he goes to Shaken. And Shaken has to fall back 1. And they're supposed to stay in their formation, but he moved over there in line. So, okay. So he moves back into the city, which is the terrain type is, I'm going to look into that one, is MDT. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that real quick in the rules on retreat. Since I was just looking at that a minute ago, yeah. Let's see. All right. Broken, shaken, morale checks, road comm, stacking, blah, blah, blah. Come on, where's the good stuff at? Retreat. All right. A retreating unit must move the required number of hexes. If unable to complete the retreat because of the following restrictions, the unit is eliminated. Each hex a unit enters must be 1 hex further away from the starting hex than the hex the retreating stack is leaving, unless conditions 1 through 4 below would be violated doing so. Units are not allowed to retreat into a hex occupied by an enemy combat unit. We know that. Units are not allowed to retreat Units are not allowed to retreat into terrain. Their unit type or formation is not allowed to enter. Wow. So he cannot. Man, he can't. You're going to tell me that both of those units are going to be eliminated. So that was a bad choice. All right, so that terrain type is, that's a village. That is an MDT. So, wow. They cannot, you cannot be in line in MDT. Isn't that something? Looking at my rules, guys, sorry. This is the first time I've run into this situation here. Haven't had to do it yet. Let me look at that again, too. Yeah, I don't know about that. MDT. Or is it you cannot change formation? Let's make sure. Terrain. Units that are forced to retreat in terrain which they are not allowed to enter while in their current formation become broken. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Units that are forced to retreat into the terrain which their unit type infantry carrier is not allowed to enter are eliminated. Units that are forced to retreat into terrain which their unit type is not allowed to enter or eliminated. Okay, so he's going to fall back in here. Right, and he's going to be broken. So since he's broken, wow, that's terrible. He is going to have to go. I'm sorry, that was this guy here. He's going to have to retreat 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3. All right. And go to a broken state. That's terrible. All right, so if you retreat into terrain that your formation cannot go into, which his formation was, he was in column, and he changed to line formation as he moved in. All right. So he can't, actually, you know what? He would have had to move and then change formation. Right. Okay. All right. and he would have got shot up anyhow. So he ended up going, yeah, so what would have happened was he would have moved in column across that stream, and then when he got here, they could have fired at him in column as reaction, because only skirmishers can do that. And then if he survived it, he could have changed formation in the hex there, because it would have cost him 4 to go in. He still would have had 2 movement points left. Then he could have changed formation into line, because you can't be in line formation in a village. But it didn't matter. He got chased away anyhow as a broken result. So it's going to be the same for this guy here. So I think what we want to do is if we move him across in column, oh goodness, across the street, and they are not in SED, they are regular skirmish mode, and we go across the stream, that's going to be +2, and into the scrub, that's 4, and then he would change formation, so he would move across here. Damn, see, that darn village right there is messing all this up. So he moves across here, they're going to fire at him. All right, so this is probably a bad move, but since I want to get the demonstration of this out, we're going to do it. So yes, even though they fired, these guys can fire any reaction again that they need to. So he's going to fire 4. That's going to be a flank shot. That's going to be +2, all right, for the flank. All right, so he's up to 6 now. It's in the scrub, so he's back down to 5. And -1 for the skirmishers. Okay, so that's not a flank shot. All right, so it's going to be 4, -1, -2, because you got skirmishers that have all around. All right, so that is on the 2 column. He rolls a 2, he hit nothing. So he's going to change formation. All right, which now he has to take a morale check for that. And he rolls a 95, so he's good. All right. Move on down to this guy here. He's already in line formation. And I'm thinking, well, he's got these skirmishers. Yeah, so let's move him up 1. We're going to move him up there. And we are going to move this guy up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he used more than 4 movement points. 55 -5 is 50. So he's good. All right, what do we got back here? He is part of 3rd. These guys are part of 3rd. This guy is part of 5th. Oh, 5th is all mixed up. What's his range? He's got a range of 3. 1, 2, 1, 2 to him. He's going to be out of command. What's this guy going to be? That's a 5. See, he's lost a step and he's broken. So the French have, Delaborte's troops have chased them off. All right, so I don't think Wellesley is in attack mode. We could probably charge with this cavalry. All right, I think I'm going to stop that right here because I got something I need to do tonight. And we'll resume this with the next opportunity here. All right, talk to y'all soon.